Hi guys, this is Juno and welcome back to another Summoners War video. So today the balance patch came out. Well, it's a pre-notice, so things could change, right? Before the update actually happens. I took a quick look and it looks like there are some big changes to some of the monsters that we've been complaining about and praising about in the past videos that I have made. So let's look into it together and talk about it. Some I'm just gonna skim through if I think it's not gonna affect many people or if it's not too relevant. But we are going to talk about some of the units that have been modified and that will change the meta that's coming into Summoners War. So let's go in. So it looks like Oracle the Dark, which is Giana, Critical Error, which is her skill 3, did get a nerf. So the max cooldown for that skill got increased by 1 turn, and I think that's pretty good. I think that is a good nerf. I don't know if it'll be enough because her critical error skill still does the same thing. It only has 1 resistance check, right? Before, people were complaining when they try to secretly add that 2 resistance check, but now they fixed that and that's still in place. So I don't know how many times the Oracle gets a chance to use the critical error skill twice in a battle, because I think if it takes first turn, well, that's the point of it, take first turn to use that to stun their unit and then, kind of control them. After that, the battle's kind of over. But I don't know how high G3 players play. I don't know how they handle Giana, how they counter it. So maybe it is a big nerf, but I think it's a good nerf, but I don't know if it's enough. But I think it's good. Now here's the second one. The Mermaid is the light. So this is the Molly, guys. So the passive did get nerfed. So the HP recovery amount got reduced to 20%. And that's a pretty good amount, actually. 20% is a pretty good amount, so I'm happy with that. And the glancing hit chance got decreased by 5% as well. 20 to 5. So 1 out of 5 hits to now 1 out of 7 hits, I guess. Around 6 to 7 hits. So I think the nerf is there. We'll have to see how much it affects the Molly meta in guild battles, siege battles, and RTA and regular arena, because people are gonna see the rush video soon. I'm gonna post this video first because I think this is more important. But when you guys see that video, you guys are gonna see that G1, G2, G3 is just infested with mollies. It's just everybody has mollies, everybody's abusing it, and it is toxic. It's very, very toxic. Okay. Look at the third one. So it looks like Comto has put this in an order where they know which units are more exciting for the players, because it looks like after the Molly, it's the Vigor. So the Vigor got nerfed, and I think we did talk about this, and I think I did say that skill 3 should be nerfed. We should add another cooldown time, and that's what they're doing. It didn't change. They didn't change the number, and not the number, the turns, the defense break turns. So it's still a 3-turn defense break, but now he will need to take another turn to use that skill 3. But I don't know if this is actually too much. Well, he's gonna definitely fall off as a damage dealer because skill 3 does so much as a damage output. But as a support unit, for example, in arena defense that I have seen a lot again in G3, I think he still will serve its purpose because his skill 2, the heal, the speed buff, is still the same cooldown. So I don't know how much the Vigor will fall off, but I think he is still a very good unit. Okay, Chun-Li. So next is a Chun-Li. I am guessing that they are saying that they decrease the damage. So if the difference of the 2 speeds are greater, it was doing a X amount of damage, but now with this, it's going to be doing less of that, less damage for that difference. So it is a nerf. Was Light Chun-Li that good? I guess only people that had it was using it effectively, and it's kind of sad that it got nerfed so soon, but I guess people were complaining about it. I wasn't, but for people that were meeting it, and for people that were using it as an offense, I don't know why they would nerf it so fast, because it's really an offense centric unit. I mean, they do use Light Chun-Li in defense for like siege, but I don't know how strong it was because it really depends on your first first turn unit to be effective. So it really wasn't the Chun-Li's problem in the defense. But okay, they nerfed it. I mean, I don't have it. I did summon it for one of my viewers, and that was one of the good units that I summoned. So I'm actually kind of sad that this got nerfed. Sorry, it's fruity. The next is the Art Master Light. So I understand this buff because the Art Master, the light one, was kind of I mean, his passive or his skill 3 looked pretty good, but because people thought the light Art Master was going to be really good because of that skill 3. However, his damage multipliers weren't that good, so he needed really good runes to do his job, and even with that, it wasn't doing enough with all the tanky bruiser arena defense meta that was in place. So because of that, I do understand this buff. Increase the damage by 32%. I think that's a pretty good amount, right? I think that's a pretty good amount. 1/3? Yeah. So yeah, for those light Art Master users, congrats to you guys. Art Master Water. So an effect was added when enemies remove beneficial effects. All harmful effects granted on the enemies will be removed. Okay, so like if your unit has like an attack buff and a defense break, and if the unit removes that beneficial effect, he's gonna cleanse that defense break, and the ally will gain 10% attack bar. I still don't like the fact that it's the enemy removing the beneficial effect. I don't know how much this will be used in RTA. And when it says all harmful effects granted on the ally, does that include like stun, like CC, like freeze, sleep, stun? Because then that would be cool. For people that have it, what do you guys think? Because I don't think that's much. I don't have it personally, so I don't know. But if you guys think that this is good, cool. But I'm not sure. The dragons. Okay, so people have been complaining that the dragons family, the skill 1 doesn't do anything, right? There's no harmful effect. It's just pure damage. So it looks like they did add something. Okay, the Pontos is interesting now. Okay, the Sea Bearer Light, Holy Ground. The grants invincibility and immunity on all allies for 1 turn has been increased to 2 turns. So now he's actually a very good unit that brings in immunity. And he brings in invincibility, okay? 2 turns is actually pretty big. And his latter part of the skill got changed, where if the allies' harmful effects are removed, which will happen if they had a harmful effect, right? The duration of immunity effect will be increased by 1 turn of that ally. So it's only 1 turn now, okay? No longer 3 turn up to 3 turns or whatever it used to be. It now increases by 1 turn. So I still think it's a great buff. I think a lot of Pontos users were complaining that his invincibility and immunity was only 1 turn and it was BS. But for a 2 turn, it's a different story, I think. I think it was a very good buff. Okay, the Fairy Kings. So their skill name changed because they all got an additional effect accordingly. So Water, Overwhelm also now decreases the attack speed of all enemies for 1 turn. And for Fire, it disturbs the HP recovery of all enemies for 1 turn. And for Dark, it removes 1 beneficial effect granted on the enemies with a 70% chance, which is pretty good, right? Because it really works well with the Fairy King's kit. I think somebody in Reddit actually put this down, and they actually got it. So they should all be happy. So I don't have any of the M Bisons, but I think I don't know if this is a good buff, but usually the M Bison Slayer is the same thing. They are HP types, so the fact that they do damage based on max HP and attack now is a big plus, I think. And for Water, destroys the enemy's max HP by 50% of the damage deals. I think that's pretty big too. I don't know how much people will use him, but actually I haven't seen him at all anywhere. But I don't know if this is enough to use him. I just don't like the fact that it's a destroy, but let's see. The Water, Wind, and Dark, the cooldown time got decreased, okay, by 1 turn. Wow, and it has a defense break. Wow, that's actually really big. They have a 1 turn defense break. I mean, 1 turn is still small, but the fact that it's a defense break, if they're just speed tuned, then this is actually good. For wind, sets back all the enemy's target skill to max cooldown. Okay, it's still single target, but now it decreases their, I mean, it resets their skill. Before, it just puts their attack bar to 0, I think. Right. Okay. Single target, strip, and reset. Not bad. Strip, reset. That one skill is better than Ganymede, right? Well, but can they resist it? I'm pretty sure they could resist it, right? Remove all beneficial effects. Oh, it doesn't. Oh, actually, maybe they can't. Oh, they can. Because it doesn't say that this could be resisted, right? So it still could be resisted. But I wonder if... So I wonder if it's a 1 resistance check when they remove the beneficial effect. If that goes through, does it guarantee to reset the skill? Then I think that's good. But if it doesn't do that, then I don't know. Okay, the views. So for their skill 1, or is that skill 1? I don't know. They increase the damage of some kind of skill. I don't have any of the views, so I'm not sure. But they increase the damage. And for the wind ryu, they say they increase the damage by 19% and greatly increase the damage of the last attack. So maybe that, and they actually added an effect. The cooldown time won't occur if the attack stops in the middle. Oh, so it still has that 3 resistance checks, right? Or 2 resistance check, because it stops if it fails to do one of them. But at least you could use it right away, in the next turn, if it fails to do that. So now if you put him on a violent build, it's actually nice, right? So he could use skill 3, and if it fails, and let's say he procs, he could use skill 3 again to try it again. And the fact that it increased the total damage, because his damage was mediocre, people didn't like him. People liked Daphnis better, but now with this greatly increased the damage of the last attack, who knows? Maybe he's actually good. People who ever have him, I mean, I'm pretty sure there's gonna be videos that's gonna be coming up, so that's actually not that bad. The Chimera Water decreased the attack by 100%. Okay. Better for beginner DB12, I guess, or DB10. I still don't know where to use chimeras, the water one. So that's that. Okay, this one's a big one too. Valkyrie Fire, which is the Vanessa. Now it's no longer a passive again. It's a skill. So it's actually a buff, guys. So before, think of it this way. Before, if the Vanessa got reset, let's say, and your unit died, the unit's dead. It can't come back. But now, even if the Vanessa is reset, the unit dies, and let's say your Vanessa takes enough turns, she could get her skill 3 back, which is now skill 3, and bring that unit back. So it's technically a buff. Because her skill 3 still works as a passive. It says, if Warrior's Return skill is available to be used, the skill will be activated instantly when another ally takes damage that causes death. It's still that the passive feature is still there, but now she could use it anytime when a unit is dead. Like she could bring back a unit. So I think that's a pretty big buff. I think people will start using Vanessa even more because she still has a 30% attack lead. I mean speed lead. But wow. Okay, guys, we have the aerial buff, the Archangel water, holy water. Okay, so now the HP recovery amount is from 40 to 50 plus as a cleanse, removes all harmful effect granted on all allies, and grants HP recovery for 3 turns by the number of harmful effects removed on the allies who had their harmful effects removed. So let's say if all the units had 3 dots, or 3 separate dots, guys, okay? That means if we use holy water, they're gonna have 3 separate HP recovery effects for 3 turns. I don't know. I think he's still good. I think he's now even better in defense, in arena defense. And I think that's where he usually can shine, especially as a stall defense, right? But the fact that he removes all harmful effects and grants them HP recovery plus 50% HP recovery, I think that's good. I don't know. People might still cry. I don't know. It's still. I don't know. The kit itself is still. Can you say it's equal to the water howl now? Can you say it's equal to that? Because his skill 2 is still very mediocre, right? It's a single target heal. But anyways, I think we'll have to test him out. I have an aerial, so I'll definitely test him out and see if it's good for defense, because I just tried arena this week and my defense was trash. So I'll have to look at that. Archangel Wind, which is the Eladriel. So he got a effect added on the skill 3, which grants a soul protection on himself for 2 turns. I don't know. I don't know. Is that good enough? I don't know what you guys think, but I think it's still kind of whatever. But okay. Chun-Li, the water. Increase the damage by 13% and decreases the attack bar by 20% each to 25% each. Okay. Hoyoku-sen, I think that's her skill 3. Okay. Actually, this increased damage is not the important part. It's the decreases the attack bar by 25% each. So she hits 7 times. Before, she would only ignore because if she depletes the target's attack bar to 0, she will inflict damage that ignores defense. So technically, before it was 20%, so after a 5th hit, the 6th hit will ignore defense, and the 7th hit will always ignore defense anyway, so it didn't benefit from this anyways. But now, after 4 hits, the 5th hit and the 6th hit will ignore defense, plus the 7th hit that always did. So now there's another hit that ignores defense, plus the increased damage by 13%. Pretty good. I think we should test her out. I have her. I didn't build any of the Chun-Li, so maybe I'll build her. I don't want to really skill her all the way up because I do have the Fire Chun-Li too. I kind of want to try using her. But I think she could actually be good in Dragons. I don't know how much of anything else other than that. But let's keep it there. The Wind Dark, I'm not that curious about. But it just says decrease attack bar by 25% each. It just followed what the Water Chun-Li got. The Dhalsims guys, okay. Did the Dhalsims get any better? I mean, they're trash. Nobody used them other than the Dark one, right? Because of the passive. But let's see. The Water one recovers your HP by 20% if you get a turn without getting attacked for 1 turn. But now that changed to if you get a turn without getting attacked for 1 turn, you'll get another turn instantly after attacking on your next turn. So that's a very easy passive to counter, right? So now he lost his self-sustain, but instead he has a mechanism to take another turn. But that condition is to not get hit. I wonder when that will happen. Okay, the Wind Dhalsim. The damage increased by 50% on the enemy with inability effect. Do you really think that's enough for the Wind Dhalsim? The Fire Wind Light Yoga Fire removes the beneficial effect with a 50 to a 75% chance. Isn't that a single target strip? Yeah, it's a single target. I still don't think it's enough. The Epica Freeze Fire grants immunity on all allies for 2 turns to 3 turns. Okay. 1 more turn on the immunity. Cool. Okay. I don't know why that was added, but 3 turn immunity. That's nice. Brownie Munition Wind. Unexpected Exposure, which is skill 2. Skill 3? Yeah, skill 3. Gains a turn instantly if you successfully remove benefit effect. Okay. So it could technically now strip and use skill 2, which is... Ooh, I like this. I like the Brownie Musician, the Wind one. So it's a strip, and then he could buff attack power and critical rate. I like this buff. Additional turn. We'll have to see. Ninetale Fox, the Water Wind Light, creates a shield by the excessive HP recovery amount for 2 turns. Now it deals a beneficial effect granted on the enemy target. Okay, is that skill 1? If that's skill 1, that's not bad. Nope. It's skill 2. I don't know if that's enough. How about the light? Okay, let's look at light. It says reincarnate, gains a turn instantly after using the skill. Is that enough? Is there a special skill that she could use right after? I don't like any of it. I don't like the Ninetale Fox changes. Anubis, wow, the fire one. Okay, no more guild speed lead of 24%, but it's a universal speed lead of 19%. Is this big? This is actually pretty big. Actually, is it not 5%? Maybe it's not that big. But I do have 3 Anubises, guys. I wonder how it's gonna affect me. But if the opponent brings in another speed lead that's not Anubis now, for example, like a Galleon, it is a lot easier for them to contest the speed for your siege defenses. And even if they bring like a 19 speed lead, like for example the Tyrone. I mean, nobody uses Tyrone in the guild in siege offense, but still, that's a 19% speed lead, and now that's enough to contest your speed if they believe that they have the same rune quality. Okay, but I don't know. I don't know how big of a nerf this is. We'll have to see how G3 players react to this balance patch and how they change their teams accordingly. If the teams are stay the same with all these nerfs to the siege critical units, for example the Commune, the Vigor, then that means this nerf wasn't enough and these units are still really strong with these nerfs. But we'll see. I think there will be some changes. Anubis Light, the 33% guild content lead has become a universal lead of 25% defense. But yeah, guys, that was it for the balance patch. I think it's pretty big. I think we got some answers, or we got some modifications that we wanted. We don't know if it's enough. Well, I don't know if it's enough. It really depends on the community, but I personally am happy with the Mermaid nerf. I think it's enough, I want to say. Or I think there has to be a little more on the glancing chest, maybe just a 10%. I might be just saying this again because I don't have Molly, okay? But again, I am okay with where it is. We'll have to see how it actually performs in arena defense and siege defense. So we'll have to see. I have to say I'm happy with the Vigor nerf because Vigor was just so strong. We know that. So now his role as a damage dealer has been diminished, but his supportive role is still very strong. That still doesn't mean you have to make him only a supportive role. He still does a lot of damage, and really landing that defense break one time is the most crucial one, right? So I still think you could build him a damage build, but now I think his supportive role is better and it's easier to rune anyways. The Light Chun-Li, whatever, all these Art Masters and Dragons, they're okay, but didn't really affect us. I'm pretty sure people are happy with the Pontos one, just the fact that he has a 2-turn invincibility and immunity, because he does have a arena speed lead, right? Or a universal speed lead of 24%. I think this is pretty big. People could start using him in RTA actually. The Fairy King's okay. I'm pretty sure people are happy with the Dark Fairy King buff. I think this strip, right? Because this is a AoE strip, and it goes really well with this kit, so that's good. I think the Slayer's buff are actually good, especially the fact that they have a defense break now. The Winru is fun. I want to see a video on the Winru for whoever has it. I mean, I don't have it, so I can't make the video, but I want to see how it actually does. I think it'll be really fun on a violent build. Wow, the Fire Valkyrie, the Vanessa is just so good now. I think it's really, really good. A tier. The Archangel, I have to play with it, I have to see, but I think he's good. Because I have him, I want to use him in my arena defense, so we'll have to see that. The Wind Archangel, I do have it, but I am not happy with it. Happy with the buff. I don't think it's enough, but okay. The Chun-Li, the water, I'm gonna play with it. I think it has a lot of potential now. It has a lot of potential. Dalsims, forget them. Ninetale Fox, forget them. Epicon Freeze, nice. The Wind Brownie Magician, I want to try that out too. And finally, the Anubis' skill modification, I think it's also valid. Although some people might have thought that it was not OP, but I personally thought it was a very good unit, a very strong unit that was being too much abused in Siege. So yeah, guys, hope you guys enjoyed the video. Please let me know what you guys think about the balance patch, and I don't know, do you guys think there might be a little change when the update actually comes? We'll have to see. But yeah, I'm really curious about what you guys think and what you guys liked and what you guys don't like, so please put that down in the comments and I will try to add on to that. If you guys enjoyed the video, please give me a like. If you haven't already, please consider subscribing, and I hope to see you guys next time. Bye.